All right. Thank you, everyone, for being here. My name is Amir Peled, and I come from Romania. And I'd like to share with you a tool that I created, which is going to help you to shift your mindset to an agile one. Okay. Now, I'm also aware that it is just before lunch, so probably most of you are like, oh my God, So I try to keep it engaging as possible, and let's get started. So my story begins with a post that I published on LinkedIn. And this is a comment that I got to that specific post. Now, I really was curious about this comment. So I thought to myself, okay, how am I going to address it? And then I thought, okay, by asking a simple question. What do you think was the answer? Speak up. No answer. More ideas. Yes, please. Say again? Getting closer, yeah. Okay. So the answer that I got was, so guess what? Apparently telling people just to be agile doesn't work. So I was pondering a little bit and I said, okay, if that doesn't work, then what may actually help? Perhaps by telling people what not to do. My next story is about vice president of engineering. I was asked to join by another agile coach, the session, quiet mode, just to observe and see how it goes. And what I noticed was that at one particular time, the vice president of engineering was so engaged into a conversation. And the agile coach said, no. This is not an agile mindset. Okay, continue talking. And then after a few moments, the agile coach said, stop. Stop this madness. This is not an agile mindset. And this is where the vice president of engineering got really pissed off. Okay. I had a chat with the agile coach. I shared with him what I observed, what I noticed. And basically what happened was that he lost, the vice president of engineering lost trust in that agile coach. So apparently this is really confusing because, telling people what to be doesn't work. Telling people what not to be doesn't work as well. So what does work? Perhaps a soup? A word soup? Now I'm going to share with you some common words which are being misused. They just got diluted in their meaning. Yeah, I can see some people nodding their heads. Now, where I'd like to focus on today's session are the next two words, which again are buzzwords: agile and mindset. Now, my question to you is, my friends, what is agile mindset? Common sense. Common sense. What else? Yeah, be able to change. Yes. Being adaptive to new situations. Yeah. Now, this is where it becomes really, really confusing. And thank you for sharing those examples, because apparently we cannot agree what agile mindset is. Yeah. So in different conferences, I ask this question, sometimes as part of a workshop, and you had many, many, many different answers. Some of them are quite there, some of them not really. Dr. Ahmed Sidki, back in 2011, if I'm not wrong, coined the term Agile Mindset, because what he noticed was that people refer to Agile as a methodology, Agile as a framework, Agile as a process, Agile as tools. And that was 15 years ago. Wow. So the way that he described Agile Mindset is, first of all, it is described by 4 values. And they are further defined by 12 principles. And the way that they are being manifested is through unlimited ways. Fascinating, 15 years ago. How many of you have read this book? Please raise your hands. Or you know what? Please stand up so that you move a little bit. You think so, okay? So my request from the rest of you who didn't read it, please do not recommend this book unless you read it. So I do encourage you to give it a read. It's a great book. Yes, you can find some short YouTube videos, of course, but it does miss the essence of it. So the book by Dr. Carl Dweck describes fixed mindset and growth mindset. And one of the things that is really, really eye-opening once you read the book is that it's contextual, meaning you can all say, yeah, we have growth mindset. But whenever there is a moment of crisis, our tendency is to go back to a fixed mindset. It can also be that we have a growth mindset at work, which is fantastic. And then we go back home, and the way that we treat our spouse is rather in a fixed mindset. Okay? So it's really, really contextual. Now, what happens with many people who just view the video is that you get to learn a new vocabulary, which is fascinating, because instead of telling a person, don't give it a try, you stand no chance, you can actually stimulate that person and say, it is okay to give it a go. It is okay to fail. Now, we've all heard those phrases, and I argue that they work fantastically with children and into adulthood. When we are speaking about adults and you try to nudge those words, most likely it will work to a certain degree till somebody will do to you something like, get off my shoulder. Okay, so it seems that we are just going in circles. There is no solution apparently. So yeah, I think I'm going to do a drop mic and just go away, huh? Not yet. I'd like to share with you some of the tools that I used throughout the years. So for instance, I do use the high performance planner, which helps me to set my intention for today. I specify also some specific goals. With whom am I going to connect? How? And at the end of the day, I evaluate to what extent did I live up to the values and what I wrote down in the beginning of the day. Great thing, you may give it a try. Or you may try dealing with habits. Okay, so I created also a workshop around a book, and I presented it at a regional Scrum gathering, Hyderabad in India in 2019-ish, I think. Accountability buddy. When you feel like you need someone who will nudge you, this is where you can set your intentions for the week. And then you are going to evaluate it. So it can be, for example, that you'd like to do 10,000 steps every day. And for each day, it's either a tick in a box or nada. I learned at organizational relationship and systemic coaching the advanced modules about team toxins, which are present in teams. There are 4 of them. And actually, those toxins are present at any relationship. So, my friends, all of you are in relationship, I guess, and your relationships are in danger. So I do recommend you to have a look, learn more about the toxins and what can you specifically do so that your relationship will thrive. It can be in teams context, it can be in relationship, even with children. And this is where I got inspired by the high performance planner, and I created something which is more suitable to my needs in Management 3.0. All of these slides will be available to you. You can zoom in, you can do whatever you want with them, and I hope that you'll find them inspiring. Yet, I still felt that something is missing. So what was missing? Let me take you to 2022. I was invited as a closing keynote speaker at the Global Scrum Gathering in Lisbon. And I got really, really inspired by the opening keynote speaker, who shared with us a story about buffaloes and a storm. So when cows eat grass, they can sense that a storm is approaching, and they don't do anything about it. Buffaloes, on the other hand, when they sense the storm, they run together as a herd towards the storm, and at the very last moment, they avoid it. Really strong metaphor. So I thought to myself, okay, how am I going to use it? How an application of it will look like in reality? And then it struck me. So when was the right moment? I told everyone, starting from Monday, I will work as a freelancer. Screw it, I quit my job. And everyone were shocked. Some were applauding, then eventually everyone were applauding and so on. And on that Monday, where I actually started in freelancing, and I never got so many messages on LinkedIn, and they were all quite similar. Did you really quit your job? Yes, I did. Okay. Now, the beginning was amazing. I mean, my first client was Red Hat Japan. And that was my first time in Japan. So I was like, oh my God, this is amazing, you know? I was really looking forward into going to Japan, and now it became possible. More clients, States, Germany, and so on and so forth. So I was living my dream till I woke up. What happened was that 2022 most likely wasn't the best moment to go on your own. You could all notice what was going on in the market. I was just blind. I was living the dream, you know? And then it hit me when I didn't have income anymore. What am I going to do? I mean, the clients disappear. Well, I was really, really confused. And I realized that there was something about me that I had to change, yet I didn't know what. And this is where I decided to create a tool which helped me a lot. And it's called Agile Mindset Kata. One thing that you probably don't know about me is that I used to be part of the national team in judo. And my daughter was really, really inspired because she had her father with black belt. And she was like, okay, yeah, I'm going to give it a go and so on and so forth. This is so cool. And you can see her here in a competition. And I remember the time that she came back from her first exercise. And she was like, Dad, I'm going to knock you down. This is scary when it comes from your child, yeah? This is really, really scary. Okay, cool. So I said, okay, cool, give it a go. So she tried an exercise. Nothing happened. She tried again with more force. Not much happened. With all of her force. Okay, I was stumbling a little bit, I admit, but still not much. And she told me, Daddy, how comes that Sensei said that I'm brilliant in that exercise, yet when I give it a go with you, not much happens. And this is where I explained to her about kata. Okay, so first of all, at all martial arts, you need to learn the basics. And you also need to have the right mindset for that, yeah? And in time, you start building your muscles, memory muscles, meaning that you do an exercise, then you learn another one, eventually another one, and so on. And by the time when it becomes a kata, you no longer think about it. You just do it. So you don't stop, you don't pause, it's just part of it. So if my opponent goes into a particular way, I don't think about what is the counteract that I'm going to, I just do it. And this is what I try to achieve with the Agile Mindset Kata. Are you curious to learn more? Yes? Okay. The rest of you know. Yes, okay, cool. So the Agile Mindset Kata has 5 specific areas. And as you can see, you can even do it on a piece of paper and go raw. First of all, you start with a challenge. That is, what is standing on your way to achieve what you want? You don't need to have the answer. You just write it down in that specific area. Next, you are going to list your assumptions. So these can be some associated feelings. These can be some of your thoughts. You are not going to analyze whether they are good or not. It doesn't matter. You just jot them down. Next, you are going to write down the barriers that prevent you from going forward and addressing your challenge. And this is where I invite you to get up because we need something different. You can just shake it a little bit. Yeah, please stand up. Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. Okay. It feels good after having lunch. Yes. You may stretch if you want. Yeah. And this is where we reach the shift moment. So you're going to have a look back at everything that you listed and you ask yourself, okay, what is possible here? Well, what are the opportunities? What can I do differently about the challenge that I'm facing? And the last step is what are you going to try differently? Okay. I invite you to have a sit back. And I'd like to provide you with several examples. How much time do we have left? Okay, cool. So I'm going to cover all of them. All right, the first example is, let's see how we do it. Is about my challenge as a freelancer. My wife hated it because I didn't have income, a consistent one month after month. So 1 month could be amazing, the next three could be almost nothing. The fourth one could be somewhere. So for me, it was perfectly okay. My wife didn't like it, and since we live in a family, I need to take care of her and my daughter. So the next thing that I did was to list down all of my thoughts. I think I need to zoom in, right? Is it too small? So here you can see some of my thoughts. So it was like, not again. And let's face it, I mean, in the past, it was relatively easy for me to get new clients. So what's going on? What's wrong with me? And I also felt a little bit ashamed because people will think of me as unsuccessful. So yeah, no, not a nice place to be at. And then I decided to list all of the barriers that I created for myself. So it could be, okay, I worked 12 hours a day, every day, no weekends. Try harder, as if it will solve the situation. It could be also about contacting more clients, like crazy, probably looking this desperate. Yeah. I tried to diversify my portfolio, offering different services, still didn't help. And then I started giving myself excuses that anyway, it's hard for everyone and it will change in time. Just be patient and so on and so forth. I needed something different, sorry. So this is where I decided to look at things differently, having a look back at everything that I listed. And the first thing that occurred to me was that being successful or not being successful, um, I don't really care about it, frankly speaking. So freelancer is not what defines me as a human being. Success doesn't define me as a human being. So you can see how I started thinking about things differently. And there are so many people that we don't know. And for some reason, we still think about, oh, what will they think about me? Let it go. Don't give a, and there is also a book about it. Yeah. So people who you don't know, just don't care about it. And I decided to change drastically my approach. That's my question to you, my friend. Any idea what did I try to do differently? So you can see that there is a shift in the moment. Where do I go from here? I'll tell you what I did. I did like this, a few steps, and I started applying to jobs. And it took me 9 months. So again, I'm not used to it because clients were all the time contacting me, and all of a sudden, I'm back into that madness game. And I became employed once again. By doing that, I offered the financial predictability that my wife and daughter were seeking. And I also do my freelancing stunts next to it. So if you are in a similar place, this is what worked for me. Caution, this is what worked for me. You are different. You may need a different approach, yet the tool is universal. Second example. With my current employer, and I got really, really frustrated. I thought to myself, well, there was a reason why I became a freelancer. And when I had to work with cybersecurity teams, everything went so slow. Oh dear. My assumptions were, man, this is so boring. And at other organizations that I used to work with or work for, we moved way faster. So I started doing a comparison. Yeah? And I felt that I'm not valued for who I am and what I bring on the table. And guess what? If people don't increase the pace, I quit. I had enough of this. Now, the barriers that I created for myself, sorry. Well, I started blaming external factors rather than looking inside me. What can I do differently? I had more and more frustration. And I felt that there is a lack of empowerment. One of my main flaws is my perfectionism. And the lack of vision and clear prioritization really, really frustrated me. Man, I had enough. Yet, having a look back at all of these, I realized that there was something that I was missing. Cybersecurity was new to me. What if I will learn about it and I will gain respect for my fellow engineers? So it took me about 1 year to say that I finally get it. I can have conversation with them using the correct terms. From time to time, they also correct me, which is great because I learn again. So really, really cool place to be at. And I thought to myself, okay, you have 7 cybersecurity teams. Imagine what if they will be successful. That will be amazing for them. And there was also that mantra that the country manager told me, if you can't do it, nobody else will. So probably I am appreciated. There was just something in my mind that I thought, no, not quite there. What did I do differently? Okay, you can read faster than I'm going to say it. So I provided to you 2 examples where I applied the tool on myself. And when I noticed that it actually had the impact that I wanted, I decided to share with the rest of the world. So I gave it a try with my teams, my cybersecurity teams. And what you can see here is a different visualization. We did use Miro for this exercise. In the beginning, they were like, oh, what is this with this drawing? Who drew it? Do you think of us as children? What's going on here? Yet, at the end, when they, bless you, when they gave it a try and they went through similar questions, let me just show you. So you can see, similar theme. What is your main challenge? What makes it difficult? This to address their associated thoughts and feelings. Agile anti-patterns. These are the traps that they were locked in. This is the shift moment. And what are they going to do differently? And there was only one person who said, well, Agile doesn't work in cybersecurity, so I'm not going to do anything else. Okay, legitimate. Now that person is not there yet, and it's okay. My next example is from a mentee. So I used to have regular professional coaching sessions with my coachee. And then he wanted at one point in time that I will start mentoring him rather than coaching. And this is where one of the changes that he had, I said, okay, what if we go a little bit back into professional coaching and give it a go? And he generated so many things and learned by doing it so many things about himself that he got really, really inspired. And he shared with his wife my tool. So a really, really awesome place to be at. I would like to jump a little bit and invite you to cross a bridge. You can take a few steps, one step at a time, and see what is at the end of the bridge. Perhaps it's not the end. Perhaps there is another bridge. Perhaps if you increase the pace, you will fall down into the ocean. But you really, really need to take those steps to see what else is possible from there. I invite you to use my tool. And if you want to get it as a PDF, you can contact me and I'll give it to you free of charge. And this is the moment where I'd like to share how grateful I am to have you all here with me. Thank you so much. My name is Amir Peled, and I suffer from jet lag. 3:30 in the morning, I decided to prepare, because I couldn't fall asleep, a special surprise for you. It took me till 10 o'clock. Let's see how it goes. Regional Scrum Gathering, Tokyo 2026. Any questions? Where do you get the song? Yes. One of the things that I didn't share with you is that I use this tool on myself because I'd like to become a world-class DJ. I'm 1 year into the process. I published 7 mixtapes, professional ones on Mixcloud. 4 of them reached #1 in Romania. If you know trance, I actually beat Armin van Buuren, which is crazy for me. And one of my mixes also reached #3, global hard techno. So I'm on my way. Thank you. I'm on my way. And I use this tool because I thought to myself that perhaps it's too late for me to become a DJ, to become a producer. I used to do it when I was 16 years old. Hell no, I will succeed. Thank you. Any questions? Yes, please.
Hello.
Hey.
Okay, so it was so inspiring stories from your side. So now you back to again job, right? So
Yes.
how did you manage with the parallel job and your training and coaching and mentoring part and developing your own brand? So how you manage and how you create the separate your career?
Yeah. By doing less of it. So I have limited time, as all of us, and I cannot do both. So my main focus is my employer. And with their permission, I do also some other things. So for instance, one of the things that they agreed is that in about 10 days' time, I will offer a M3K, Leadership in the Age of AI workshop here in Japan. The reason why they agreed is that I will practice, I'll become better, and then I will offer it in person for my employer. So there is all the time trade-off. My mornings are with DJing. I will also start producing soon, but it's not instead of. It's with the limited time that I have.
Yeah, you're talking about the less work, but how many hours you used to work?
As a freelancer.
And, including all your job and your DJing and also the
Yeah,
coaching part.
so right now I work 8 hours a day for my employer, DJing half an hour to 1 hour a day, and that's about it.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome. Yeah, we have a question about that.
Can you share the Agile Mindset Kata?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so my question is basically how you go about going to the shift phase from the one before.
Just a sec. This one, yeah?
Oh, no, shift from shift to try, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. So the real moment is the shift itself. Once you identify the shift, the try becomes easy. And one of my advices is you can start with the challenge. You can follow with the assumptions, and you may say, you know something, there's so much going on right now in my head, I feel clueless how to continue. Put it aside. Give it a few days, you can always come back. And then whenever is the right moment, it will become clear to you, okay, this is what is possible right now. And it really takes an act of courage to do it on yourself.
Okay, I guess my question is, what is key to basically moving from traps to shift? I guess that's what I want to ask.
Yeah. So the key moment is to have a look back at everything that you wrote down, and you say, okay, cool. Now that I have it written, it is more clear. What is possible here? Because this is a challenge where I'm blocked. I want things to be different. And this can be the trigger. Now, I also acknowledge that it's really, really hard for us to tickle ourselves, right? I mean, if I try to tickle myself, I will not laugh. And this is where you may need a professional coach who will guide you through this tool.
Great, thank you.
Very welcome. More questions? Questions from people on Zoom? No? Okay. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of the conference.